So with this, we move on to the next session, which is AI-powered instant BGV by SpringVerify. This will be taken by Yashwant, Emeritus Advisor Growth from SpringVerify. So he is at SpringVerify with over 28 years of experience in building and scaling tech-driven ventures across HR tech, EdTech, and SaaS. A seasoned entrepreneur, he has co-founded companies like HireSure.ai, TalentQ, and Ideology Labs, and is known for driving business growth through innovative. Can we have a huge round of applause for Yashwant? Also, I would like to call upon stage Ms. Sonika Aaron, CEO Marching Sheep, Joseph Anthony, Director HR from Cognizant, Satish Madhwan, Chief People Officer from Next Wealth, Tanmay Parekh, VP HR from Dairy Day, Lakshmi Raju, Director Talent Management from Microland Limited for a book launch.
Everyone. So how's the day going? Good to see all HR leaders in one place. It's always lovely to connect to every HR leaders because they are the ones who are giving us our bread and butter. Right? Okay. So having said that, each one of you all must have got a book when you all registered, right? So how many of you all have read that book already? Because I know not many faces have been here. How many of you all have already read that book or seen that book? Great opportunity for me. Okay, so now we'll officially launch this book. I'm taking the help of some of the leaders here. Please come on the stage. We want to officially launch this book. This is a book, as you see on the book, this is the book that we have written to kind of share our experiences in terms of how the culture is very important as an organization, because we as an organization, we are a 100% remote company, and definitely how culture matters and how transparency matters is what we have kind of understood over a period of time. And that not only us writing this book, a lot of leaders from the industry have contributed based on their experiences how these things matters. So we are taking the help of these leaders here to help us please help us. Unpack this. Yeah, please help us unpack that. We're just launching the second version of this. We had the first version sometime back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I personally request each one of you to please go through that, give us your comments on that, help us make it better for the next version that we're actually coming out with. Yeah, we'll have one photograph together, please. Yeah, please join us. So that we can showcase that book. Thank you so much for helping us. Okay, so now the gentleman here introduced me as somebody from the SpringVerify. Yes, how many here have been doing BGV as a process in your organization? Excellent, 14 and a half hands. I don't understand what half means, but still, yes, thank you so much. But still, there is a lot of opportunity for us to talk to each one of you all. And SpringVerify as a product is a product developed by us to do the background verification. Thankfully, people like you have helped us grow. We have got around 7,500 plus customers. And then most of you all, in some way or the other, either experienced how the background verification goes on, either for your own and or as HR leaders, you all must have done the BGV along with your team to do the verification. And while we have got that many customers who have helped us grow to whatever we are today, we got to hear, I'll not talk much about the BGV. Here today I want to talk more about one step before BGV is what we went, because a lot of leaders were also asking us that, okay, while we are happy with the BGV that we have been using from as a SpringVerify, why can't you help us one step before that in terms of screening the candidates and then doing their interviews. Okay, so that's where I have got Rohit with me, who can actually help us. One layer that we built before actually verification happens in terms of integrating the product with your ATS, getting the profiles onto the good fit, and then screening of the profiles, and then also doing the interviews, which he'll just walk us through on that, and we can learn more about it. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. I'll have Rohit come on the stage. Thank you so much.
Am I audible? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Yashwant. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. I know lunch is already set up, and I know, we would all want to go for lunch, but give me 10 minutes of your time, and hopefully I might be able to spark some thoughts in your mind, right? I'm from GoodFit, as you can see at the bottom right. No, we are not a fitness company. We don't do health supplements, none of that. GoodFit essentially comes from everyone here, I'm sure, has taken at least one interview. I know that's a joke, but at least one interview. When you walk out of a conversation with a candidate, you come out and say, hey, I think this person is a good fit for us, right? So that's where the name Good Fit comes from. We are building an assessment platform, but there have been a lot of assessments platform for a while now. When we started building, we started with an AI interviewing platform, which is now developed into an assessment platform. So think of us as your all-in-one platform to shortlist candidates from a pool of resumes that you already have. And how do we do that? Is by essentially going through a bunch of screening assessments, which I will walk you through. We already are working with a lot of customers. Some of our biggest customers are Tata Capital, Bajaj Capital, Jiva, Lenskart, Wakefit, Sleep Company, Zuari, and so on and so forth. We are just about 8 months with this product, and we've already cracked a lot of customers, right? And yeah, we've conducted probably close to 2 lakh assessments on the platform now, with over 1.5 lakh AI video conversational interviews on the platform. Rest of the assessments we've been launching, off late. And yes, we started with SpringWorks as a customer, of course, and they loved us so much that, they've kind of partly acquired us as well. That is how I'm able to be here and talk about GoodFit, right? Yeah, so I think we all know that hiring is always tough, especially in a market like India, where, if you're a half-decent employer brand, if you post a job on LinkedIn, you probably get like 300 resumes in 3 days, right? And today there's 2 problems. One is, every resume is great. Your ATS is going to shortlist a resume because every half-decent candidate is using an AI platform to generate the resume, right? So AI-generated resumes is a challenge. Candidates using a lot of different AI tools to give answers during interviews is also a challenge, right? And you also don't have a very easy way. I'll tell you a very simple example. I was talking to one recruiter and said, hey, how do you, shortlist candidates? Because they get 1,000 resumes in 5 days for a tech role. The answer the recruiter gave was, hey Rohit, I go to my ATS, I go to the filters, I say, show me education at IIT, right? So in an interviewing process in general, there are a lot of biases that exist today. Or, not only today, it's existed forever. Anyone knows what is the bias when you shortlist based on an education, university, or a company that that person has worked at? What is that bias called? Perfect. That is called as a halo effect, right? A halo effect is when you just shortlist based on certain criteria that you think is great. There is no real underlying factual evidence for it, right? So the opposite of a halo effect is a horn effect, wherein just because of one slight word on that resume, you might automatically not want to consider that candidate. There is no factual evidence. It's just an effect. So these are biases. There is halo effect, horn effect, there's affinity bias, there's confirmation bias, there is a lot of different sorts of biases, right? So what I always say is interviews are stories, right? But assessments are signals, right? So if you don't use any assessments in your hiring funnel, you effectively have a biased hiring process because you're relying on people. And let's all be honest, we've worked with enough people and hiring managers, and I will take the liberty to say this because I also started as an HR, right? Interviewing is also a skill, right? And not many people have the skill, right? Forget skill, people don't give feedback on time, right, after they do the interview. So what I'm trying to tell you is move away from just stories. It's not that there is one set of candidates who can make great resumes, there's another set of candidates who can tell you great stories. But are those evidences enough for you to go ahead and move that candidate in your process? I don't think so, right? Especially in today's world. Which is why I say that, use good fit, right? So that you can only progress with the good fits. So what we do is help you evaluate candidates across all the different types of roles using multiple types of assessments. It could be screening grounds, right? It could be technical assessments, which is your coding evaluation. It could be skill-based assessments. You come onto our platform, we have almost 20,000 different assessments ready to go, right? You just have to select the role, and I will give you easy, medium, hard assessments for each of that role, depending on what experience bracket you're choosing for that particular role. You can also do psychometric assessments, and all of this is fully proctored, right? So there's an AI proctoring that is built into the system. So when the candidate is completing all of these assessments, we are able to accurately tell you. The biggest challenge we see today is candidates obviously think they're very smart, so they just read directly from an AI, right? So we're able to accurately tell you, maybe there's an 80% chance or an 85% chance that this candidate is cheating. And not just that, I will highlight the exact words and sentences which they read from AI, with, again, factual evidence on why we think that was read from AI, right? So that's the amount of proctoring that exists on the platform. Yeah, so basically the biggest advantage of assessments or AI interviews in my mind is also the async nature of it. What I mean by that is, now you don't have to actually schedule an interview. I have a couple of customers, if you go to their careers page, they don't have an apply now button. They actually have a start interview button. Just imagine how radically different that new, foundational hiring funnel is. You don't have a resume filter at all. You give an equal opportunity to every candidate to attempt giving an interview to your company, and you're basically relying only on evidence to push the candidates to the next stage. So we have companies who are doing that. They've moved away from resumes. You go to their career page, you will see start interview. Candidate can start the interview at 10 a.m. in the morning or 10 p.m. in the night, because honestly, a lot of the interviews today happen between 1 to 2 during lunch break, where the candidate is already working, or it happens a little later, right? So again, you can avoid all of that. That's the advantage of an AI interview, right? And it's a fully conversational interview. I have Tata Capital who conducts interviews in Gujarati, right? Or a Bajaj Capital who takes interviews in Tamil or Malayalam for a candidate sitting in Coimbatore who is giving the interview on the mobile, right? So that's the advantage of AI and technology today. Of course, we also do coding assessments. This is not something new that we do. There have been a lot of platforms that obviously exist that do this. We've also added this as an evaluation and assessment in the platform. So if you're hiring for software engineers, again, this is a great tool to automatically filter candidates. And from our data, I can tell you that 70% of entry-level software engineers cheat. It's just the data that I have. I don't mean harm to anyone, but that's just what I see on the platform today. And yeah, we have customers using this across campus interviews primarily, because that's where a lot of junior entry-level roles happen. And obviously, talked about proctoring. Fully proctored, the entire thing is captured. The screen gets captured as they're giving the interview. Their video gets captured. We also used to do facial analysis, etc., but there have been a few false negatives in that, so because of which we stopped that. But one common challenge that I've heard is also the candidates using some other person speaking, and then there is a lip sync that happens. So we have mechanisms in place to actually detect that. I'll be able to tell you if the candidate is actually doing a lip sync, because before the interview starts, we actually make them record their voice. We also do an audio match, a face match. A lot of things go into making sure that you're getting an accurate assessment of the candidate. Yeah, you don't need a bloated tech stack. What I want to bring to you is a single platform that does multiple assessments, be it screening, shortlisting, assessments, and a score that you can confidently go to your hiring manager and say,